Hello, everybody. It's Bob Anderson, and I want to do a video for July 17th, 2024. Um, I didn't do a video yesterday. So, yesterday I took one trade. One trade. That's it. Um, I'll show it to you later. I think it was gold. I took one trade, 20 ticks. I think the trade took about. I went straight into profit. I know that. I remember that, and then it hit one of those pivot highs that I talk about because it was about 13, 14 ticks up. I hit the pivot for the rotation down, and price sat there for like a minute. I threw my stop at even, and then and like a clown. I didn't grab my target and throw it up farther, which is what I really should have done. And then price, like the next candle, blew through that top, took me out, and all 10 accounts, because remember I have 10 PA accounts, all 10 hit for $200, and I shut it off. And I'll show you the trade. I could have easily grabbed it and moved it up further and made a lot more money. Today, and I'll show you this trade, July 17th. I took two trades. I took one in the NQ. Price took off, worked in my favor. I was up about, I don't know, maybe 100. Only one contract. I was up like maybe $150 or so. And if I if and then it rolled, and I grabbed my stop, put it at even plus a tick or something like that. Came down, knocked me out. Ended up being a break-even trade. And then I took one more trade later in the RTY with this absolute beast of a trade in the RTY. I will show you that. I tried to take a trade earlier in the RTY, and I'll show you why I didn't take it, even though the thing worked. And then it rotated, and then it created another trade, and I hit that. And I mean, literally, before I can even grab my target and move it further up, I went ting, ting, and I was out. And I think that was $230 in like 30 seconds. And no, I am not trading the news. I am not trading any of that crap. Okay. So these are, if you recognize these setups, you will see the beast that creates this immediate reaction that I'm talking about. One of the things I wanted to do also, because I made a comment a couple videos ago that even though the market's moving slow, I feel like in my own trading that I have become very conservative to the point that it's actually working greatly in my favor, to be honest with you. And so what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is, like I say, I have 10 PA accounts, right? I had 5, and I added 5 more because they did the pass in a day BS, yada yada yada. So I have 10 working together. But because I have 10, and I'm not stressing about do I take a trade or not, I'm really just being very conservative about, do I take a trade, do I not? Is the setup legit, is it not? And what I have found is it's been really stress free. So I thought I'd throw some stats up just to kind of go along with it. And there's some skewing in these stats that I'll allude to here in a second. But this is when I came back from the 4th of July. July 8th was my first trading day. July 17th is today. So these are my actual stats that came right out of Ninja for my trades of all 10 PA accounts since I had all 10, because I didn't start trading all 10 until July 8th. And so, this is the power of compounding, by the way, because I mean, this would be, if I was trading just one account, I'd still have a profit of $1,131, which is great. I mean, I talk about my strategy is really to help supplement your income. You focus at a specific time, you trade lightly, you don't put yourself in a situation where you're going to blow up your accounts by over leveraging or anything crazy like that, nor having stops too big or anything like that. So, but if you compound all these trades with 10 accounts, it's $11,315. Profit factor is a calculation that's within Ninja 2.38. I've always been told anything over 2 is really good. 2.38, I guess that's over 2. Trades 249. So let me talk about 249, because you might be like, well, Bob, you have 10 accounts. How come it's 249? Let me tell you why I have 249. And it's kind of gotten me really frustrated right now. But I talked about this, I think, before I went on vacation, and subsequent to vacation, it's still going on. And that is randomly, not every time, but it did happen today, as an example. And I'm pretty confident it happened yesterday in that one trade I took yesterday in gold too. Yeah, as a matter of fact, it did. And that is, I've got a lead account for my trade copier. Boom, enter, boom, all 10 accounts entered. I mean, my fills on my entries have been beautiful. So I'm really perplexed, because what's been happening, not every time, but at a high level of times in just this time frame here, even my system will go, my trade will go, let's just say, into profit. It hits, let's say, my target. And then for conversational purposes, 8 of my accounts close. Profit $200. And I'm looking at my workspace. I have to look it up and see what it's called. And you go into positions, and you'll see I'm still in 2 positions, but it's not, here's the worst part. It's not that I'm in 2 positions on 2 PAs that just didn't close out, so I'm still in the trade that was going my way. No, for some random reason, it's like it did 2 sells instead of 1 sell on a long. And now all of a sudden I'm in a short position. So I'm having to manually flatten those accounts as fast as I can on my chart. I sent a message to customer service at Ninja, and all I got back from them was, well, you should be managing your account on your control panel. Well, no fucking that's not the point. The point is that I'm trading 10 PA accounts using your company's freaking trade copier, and it keeps throwing me into trades. I think I might have talked about the fact that in these numbers right here, I got into one trade that rolled down $700. By the time I figured it out, I didn't know I was still in a trade, and I was down $700, and I had to work my way out of it to get to even. Now, I didn't take the $700 loss, but by the time I figured it out, I was like $700 down. Ironically, it was sitting on an overnight open by the time I figured it out. That's how I figured it out. I was like, oh my God, we're having an overnight open trade, getting ready to go long. Well, I was in a long from above that I didn't know about. I didn't know on one of my accounts. And thank God it hit that overnight open. Same back, I added a contract in to shrink my area, and therefore, at this point in time, still my largest loss in this time frame was $180. But I had to work my way out with one of my PAs so that I didn't have an $800 loss. So, anyways, my largest win, $480. I don't even remember that. I don't remember the $480 win, but it was obviously one where it's probably an NQ. It was obviously one where I had a target and it went to it. So my largest win was $480. That's per account. That would have been $4,800. You can see how that would be the biggest thing in that week. I mean, seriously. My win rate's been 65%, which keep in mind, break evens are not in that 65%. I had 20 break evens out of those 249 trades. Again, the reason it's not 250 or 240 or 230 is because it's randomly putting me into trades that I think are closed out. That's why the nine is there. It's not a round number. Anyways, 20 break-even trades, which means 2 trades that were break-evens. One was actually today in the NQ. I mean, I literally had a break-even trade where I threw my stop in, about a tick up on the NQ, came down, knocked me out in it, and all 10 accounts closed out. Ironically, in that case, all 10 accounts closed out exactly at that price in the NQ, which is phenomenal. Phenomenal that there was no slippage or anything like that they filled there. So why this is happening sometimes, I have no idea. But anyways, I thought I'd show those stats because where I think these stats are coming from is that I'm really being cautious and I'm really focusing on specific setups at specific times, and I'm being rewarded for that patience and whatnot by having a really solid win rate. I mean, 65% when I'm looking for 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 4-to-1 on my money. And I'm really being conservative with my break evens. And where I got the $180 loss from, I'm not really sure. My guess is that would have been an NQ trade also. That would be my guess. It would have been an NQ trade. So anyways, because I wouldn't have had a $180 loss in gold or oil or the RTY. So that must have been NQ. Anyway, so I'm going to show you some of my trades today. I just wanted to kind of get that out there, and let me pull up some charts and we'll go from there. Okay, so the first chart I want to talk about is today in RTY. I think I mentioned in my video on Monday that the RTY had been showing some really good signs on some trades. So today, I'm looking at the RTY, and here's the open right there, 9:30. Okay, and I think we had news at like 8:30 or something. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to the pre-market today, but I will tell you this: if you look, this is what kind of got me excited. So I'm going to talk. What's going through my mind? Let's talk about what's going through my mind. So I'm looking at the market in the pre-market, and I see we roll up to the 5-minute red line, whatever, but down we go inside the 9 EMA. We come up into it and then down, create a new Donchian channel. Let me explain slowly again for people to understand. I've always talked about look to your left and see if you've been there in the last hour. Well, somebody told me that I can just put this Donchian channel on here and do a setting of 60, which, by the way, down below all my settings, down below in this video are where are all my settings. But anyways, so every 60 minutes, this thing seeks the lowest point. Every 60 minutes, this thing is seeking the highest point of price. Okay, looking back 60 minutes. So anytime this thing gets pierced, it's a clue to me that we've got, a potential trade on the 1-minute gold line. So this is pre-market stuff. I wasn't paying attention to it, but what I was doing is going back and looking and saying, hey, look, they're respecting this. See this? This is a Donchian channel low, boom, back into the gold line, wham, down. This trade right here was 664, basically was your entry. 665 is your entry. All the way down to the low is another 63. So you're talking about 35 ticks per contract just to go from there to there. And look at that move. Okay. Then you came up into it again, down, bam, create another low. This created a low, by the way, back up into it, then down. Then created another low here, back up into it, then down. if you go into this one and you're looking for 20 tickers, let's say 20 tickers. This is 61 is your entry. So 20 is 59. That's 59. That's 59 right there. This thing went all the way down to 58. So it went 30 ticks, then started doing this stuff, and then rolled up. Why am I talking about this pre-market stuff? Well, because what I was visualizing and seeing happening right here in front of my own eyes before the market opened, between here and here, this whole area, I'm seeing that the algos and the traders and whatnot are respecting that 9 EMA. So I'm on this instrument, not talking about gold, not talking about oil, not talking about the NQ, just talking about this instrument. So I got a little heightened attention to this instrument when I saw this right here. Okay? So let's fast forward to the market opens. The market opens, here's 9:30. Okay? I don't like to do anything for a while. Summer trading, I'm more aggressive. I'll start looking at stuff, earlier, more like 9:45. When we're in the peak of stupidity trading, I mean, I'm more interested in maybe about 10 o'clock. But anyway, so here we are at 9:30, and what did it do? It just ran right through my 5-minute red line. I mean, poof, gone. Look at that. These are huge moves. You got to understand. This is 10 ticks. 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 I mean, these are some pretty big moves. All right? And we blew through the Donchian Channel to the north side. So I'm like, okay. Well, let me shrink this down for you so you can see something. Here's the overnight open. And I saw this right here. And I went, oh my God, they're going to the overnight open. And as soon as it rejects the overnight open, this 9 EMA is going to be so far down that I'm going to be able to make a bucket of money. That's exactly what my mind. So all of a sudden, I'm pushing gold aside. I'm pushing oil aside. I'm pushing the NQ aside. And I'm focusing on this RTY because this thing is moving. This thing is running like a cheetah. Okay? And I'm looking for the pivot points. So the first pivot point I see is this one. Okay? Otherwise, I need to see a rotation back into here. One or the other. This is what I'm thinking when this candle closes. Okay? So then let's go to the next candle. Then this candle goes up further. I'm like, okay. When I'm focused on this, I'm looking to take a short. When price pierces this, candle closes, bam. Okay? All right? That's what I'm looking for right here. All right, so, but I want time to go by too. I don't want to be doing this until we get like 9:40 or so. So I'm kind of checking the time, looking at the chart, checking the time, looking at the chart, checking the time, looking at the chart. Kind of see, okay. But I only have to focus for so long, and then I either pick a winner or I don't. So here we go. Oh my God. And this is the God's honest truth. When this candle right here closed, I had a sell stop sitting down here that I had put on my chart and I dragged up. And I was waiting for this to pierce because I wanted to put my short underneath that candle. But I wanted the confirmation that we reached the overnight open. We missed it by what, folks? A tick. What did it do? And then look at the gap from here down to here. What did it do? Bam. Yep. And when it went bam, here's the entry. If I had taken it, which I didn't, 30 to 80. 30 ticks in one freaking candle. 30 ticks. Anyways. So now I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, what can I hope for? Because the overnight open trade is now freaking ruined. Because if it goes back up now, I'm not getting in the middle of that freight train. So I said to myself, well, maybe we can get a setup off the 9 that leaves that the candle close will be low enough. I have room to not to have my target below here. Okay, so I'm not trying to take my target on the other side of the overnight open. So again, so I cancel my short and I go back up here and I create a long because I'm going to do a buy stop off the top of a candle if we can get a nice smooth pullback into here. So let's see what happens. Okay, we're almost there. We hadn't quite got there yet. Jesus. All right, so now I'm still chomping at the bit, right? These are some nice big red candles. So what are they doing? What are they doing? What do you think the traders are doing here? They're squeezing the stops of those that jumped in here. Okay? They know where they're going. We don't know where they're going, but we're looking for that rubber band. See the rubber band? See how the rubber band got stretched that way? Now we're looking for the rubber band to get stretched this way to slingshot it. Okay? So then this closes. Ooh, okay. Soon as this candle closes, I got my buy stop right there. One tick above, so like 2280 area. All right. Okay, this candle closes. Now what? Now I need to have my stop right here. My buy stop, not my stop. My buy stop at 70, 78, 70 range. Okay. All right. We got in, and before I can grab my target and move it to where it should have been, which is up here. See, it should have been up to the pivot. I mean, remember, I talk about this. When I get into these trades, the first thing I do is grab the stop. Well, I did. I grabbed the stop and threw it underneath the bottom of this candle. Okay. And while I was doing that, this thing slammed up and hit my targets. When I could have grabbed if it would have just been a little slower, I was reaching to grab my targets and move them up to here. Because what happened? Exactly what I anticipated. Anyways, I did that with 10 accounts, with 2 contracts, and I ended up getting like $220, something like that. Anyways, so there it is. I had, I think, a tick of slippage on my entry and maybe a tick on my fill. I have no idea. So, but my point is that was my trade. I looked for this one, which would have been right at 941, which would have been stretching it. But I mean, again, the rubber band. You got to look for that rubber band being stretched one direction or another to create that slingshot. So here's the first stage of the rubber band, right here. From here to there. If you can recognize where they're bringing it to then reverse it, that's the whole key to this strategy. When they break through something, like they broke through here, then recognize where they're going to run it to then reverse it, to reverse it again. And when you can see that pattern and you can pick up on these things, that's where you can start taking. I mean, this trade right here, honestly, from here to here is like about a $600 trade. Easily $600. Okay. I swear I tried to grab this thing and pull it, but it just didn't happen. And then, of course, I had to manage the 2 accounts that somehow I was still in to get that. By the time I got them closed out, it was into this candle. I mean, it's just trade copier stuff that I don't want to talk about right now. Anyways, so let's see what happened the rest of the day. And by the way, being the disciplined trader that I hope to be in life, you know what I did after I hit that trade? I shut my charts off. I did. I shut my charts off. I was done. So let's talk about what I would have done if I was still trading. So we blew through here, and then we went up to the daily high. So one of 2 things. I would be looking for this to either roll back to the overnight open for a long or back into the 9 EMA if the pattern sets up right. I'm telling you right now, I have no idea. I have not looked at this chart. I have not. I turned it on for this video. Let's see here. All right. Ooh. Okay. Well, maybe we'll get a 9 EMA 1 minute long. Let's see here. Oh shoot! Wow. So we pierced, but I can't tell if live. I can't tell if we pierced live. See, that's one thing about looking at charts after the fact. I can't tell if we pierced live. See, this green, this candle closing green up means with this here, I don't know if it did it live or not, because I want it to pierce that 9 EMA live, not have the head of it pulled up because it went green again. And yeah, see, okay, I don't know. See, I don't even know if that was a setup or not. I do know this. This is going back to the overnight open. And so it's looking like a setup because we're getting reach. Well, let's see what happens. Reach. Come on, reach. No, it didn't reach. All right, that's over too. Yeah, I wouldn't be a fan of this one. Yeah. Why was I not a fan of this one? Because we went down before we got to it, rolled up, and then we went down again. So with the overnight open, you really want that sequence of stretch. You don't want a rotation when you in the middle of that big move. That's fine on the 5 minute red line, but it's not fine on the overnight open. The overnight open really needs exactly what this did and missed it by a tick and then rotated over. That's what it really needs. It needs that look right there. Anyways, so let's see if we get a 5 minute red line. This looks pretty, honestly, this looks pretty, yeah, that actually looks like that for the 5 minute red line, that's a smooth pullback. I don't know if we get a trade here or not. Let's look. Never pierced there. Okay, now we're piercing. And so your long would be right here. Your long would be right there. Let's see what happens. Son of a bitch, it worked. I didn't know this. I swear to God, I didn't know this. So see, this is the candle right here, this red candle. This is the one that pierced that 5 minute red line. So your long is right there at 2276.20. And I mean, this 2276. This is 2280. Okay, that's 40 ticks. From there to there is 40 ticks and never took a tick of heat. Wow, I didn't know this. I actually did not know this. Anyways, that actually shows everything in a nutshell, because I talked about how I was looking to play the overnight open, how I did play the 1 minute gold line, and how I would have played the 5 minute red line. And this would have worked. This did work. This would have worked if it would have just been another tick higher and then slammed down. So when I say that the NQ the RTY has been working very rhythmically, this is exactly what I'm talking about. What happened right here in all of this action today, right there, all this action today. Boom, back towards the overnight open. I mean, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Anyways, so that's it. That's my trading for the day. I'm going to show some charts again later on this week. This video is getting a little long, so I'm going to let it go. Everybody have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.